right, so good morning, everybody. My name is Wendy Gerbrandt, and I'm the Community Economic Development Coordinator with Community Futures Wild Rose out of Strathmore. So thank you for having me here today to share some of the opportunities and things that have been happening here within our region within the last couple years and moving forward. So I just thought I'd start with a little bit of a background on the Community Futures program, just because it's kind of a little hidden treasure in some areas, and not too many people are familiar with really what we do. So it's always good to lay that groundwork on what we do so you know how you can connect with your Community Futures or CF program in your region. So this CF, Community Futures Program, was established nationally in 1986, and it's federally funded. Each CF office is an independently run, nonprofit organization. And our program is solely focused on rural development and rural communities. So it's only accessible to those rural operators and businesses. So our program was created in response to severe economic and labor market challenges faced by the rural Canadian communities back in the 1980s. And its focus is on small and medium-sized business. So it's not really much different than what here we are facing today. And the difficulties that entrepreneurs are having today, whereas our program would be very beneficial to people right now, whether they're looking at transitioning or even just doing startups. So kind of coincidental that we're doing this presentation today because it's quite timely. So our region is quite expansive. We have about 88,000 people within our region, and we basically border right up to the Calgary city limits to Highway 2, just north of Torrington and Trochu. And then we follow along the Red Deer River Valley, down into the Rosebud area, Hisar, Bassano, and then we wind back up along the Bow River, and Strathmore is where our office is located. So we have about 15 shareholder communities, and we serve approximately 22 communities within our region. So for anybody located within this area, you would just call our CF directly, and we would be happy to assist you. So I'll just go into a little bit more detail about what it is, the services that we provide. So each CF is very unique in some of the initiatives that they undertake, because it's all based on what the communities require or need. And those can be very different throughout the province and throughout Canada. So, but we do have our core services. So I'll just go into a little bit more details about those. So our services to our entrepreneurs would include loans for those entrepreneurs and individuals wishing to either start or expand, relocate, or purchase a small business. And those loans can be up to about $150,000. But we can also leverage more in working with partnership with other financial institutions or other CFs. We also provide business counseling services. So I can be sitting down, coaching you and advising you to work on your business plan, and cash flow or financial analysis assistance. And those services for the counseling is free of charge out of our office. We don't charge, so at any point you can come in and access those services. We also work with different third-party institutes, post-secondary, to do training and workshops. We'll also host our own with our business analysts out of our office as needed. Those can be done in a group setting, or quite often we'll work with you one-on-one to provide you some training or capacity building that you might need. And then we also have what we call an Entrepreneur with Disabilities program. And this one is here to assist those entrepreneurs who might have a physical or other disability limiting their ability to gain the capacity that they need to start up their business. So you can work with, call into the Community Futures, and we can get you a one-on-one business coach, or we can help to get you some funding for some marketing supports as well. So Community Futures provides community services, and this is where our community economic development programs come into play and the strong role that I lead here within our region. So we can provide strategic planning services to help support rural economies. So we can work with nonprofits. We can also help with businesses creating those strategic plans if they need them. And we also like to participate in with them with our municipalities as well. We work on building capacity. So again, building capacity is those workshops and trainings sessions that are needed. We work in facilitating partnerships. So one of the key ones that we've had here is with the Open Farm Days Committee and the Alberta government on bringing some of these different initiatives for agritourism in the region. We can also work with on integrating resources. So if you need assistance with applying for a grant or just want to research some grant opportunities that are out there, we can help you with that as well. And then any other special initiatives that may arise. So it's really broad, and community economic development can really play into a number of different sectors. So whether it's agriculture, tourism, innovation, we can play a strong role for rural communities throughout that. So these next few slides, I'll just talk a little bit about what our program here has done with our community economic development program and different projects and initiatives that we've taken throughout the region. So it actually started quite a ways back in 2015. One of my office partners and myself decided, we thought, let's investigate this Alberta Open Farm Days. It was so new, but we had been seeing it all over radio ads and television, and we thought this would be a great opportunity to talk to our rural operators about. So we put a few call outs, and within just a few minutes, and literally a few minutes, we had great support from our operators on Open Farm Days. So we ended up working with the province over the next several years and doing kind of a rural collaboration and trying to do some cluster development. And many of our operators do participate just on Open Farm Days weekend, but we're also starting to see them wanting to do more of it. They're starting to realize the benefit of it. So what we do is every year we continue to phone and work with the operators and the producers and processors to see who's interested in participating that year in Open Farm Days. And then we bring them together to do some industry networking and collaboration. And we get them to work together in their cluster or within the area to begin to develop farm experiences. And we also connect them with the business development resources to diversify their business. So if they're looking at going outside of this as Open Farm Days to bring visitors on the farm, we can help with that through those business counseling services. But we also sit down with them for Open Farm Days weekend, and we are getting them to think and consider what type of revenue generators can they make on their farm, or just those overall experiences. And then we also do a little bit of an assessment with them to find out, what kind of training and supports do they need to help in their business and product development phases. So we will, like over the last few years, we've done social media marketing sessions or farm direct marketing sessions just to help build that capacity to get more familiar with those tools. And we'll also work with them to connect with government and community stakeholders. So whether that be their local government or MP or MLA, we try to get everybody working together to help promote that program for the betterment. And we also work with groups like 4-H. We've been trying to get them in to help volunteer and other volunteer groups throughout the area. Whether it could be also a local DMO if you have those in your region, and just other tours and partners like Travel Alberta to get them in to teach them other capacity building tools that could be a benefit for them. One of the big outcomes that we're now seeing with Open Farm Days and that participation is that supply chain connection. And we're really seeing it at this time, given everything that's going on, but we're seeing more people wanting to come out to the farm and not necessarily going to the retail. So You know, it's great when they can do those farm direct purchases, know where their food comes from, and they're coming out more than just open farm days, they're coming out year round. We've also seen producers pick up distribution channels throughout the year as well. So that's been really fabulous. And not just on the food side, on the textile sides as well. And just overall, it's helping that promotion of developing that local food story. So people are, you know, as they come out to the region, they're learning more about what it makes our region and our community so unique. And it connects that food story to our region. So after we did open farm days for, you know, about 3 consecutive years, it became obvious that there were some needs in order for operators to move forward to do this into other seasons or more year round. So we ended up working with the Alberta government, so Alberta Economic Development, Trade and Tourism, and we were able to leverage funding with them as well as our 3 municipal partners, so Rocky View County, Wheatland County, and Nehill County, and Community Futures Wild Rose as well, all invested into an agritourism development plan. So we created an action plan that would allow us to grow the agritourism sector. So we just completed that last winter, and we're now beginning to communicate the plan. We're on hold a little bit, but we're finding other ways in which to get the plan back out to the stakeholders and those supports to help grow the sector. So we need the leaders and we need the champions to further this if we're going to be successful. One of the things that we are looking to do is to develop an industry leaders group. So we want a group of operators that are interested in propelling this industry forward and coming together to help implement the plan. So that's one of our key initiatives that we'll be working on here over the next several months. Throughout this plan and the study that we undertook, we were able to identify various opportunities for the sector to grow. So we found cultural opportunities and historical opportunities based on the strong assets we had in our region. We also have those opportunities as producers were quite keen and interested in bringing individuals to the farm. And we also have that opportunity to grow like the culinary events through other operators. So whether it's B&Bs, or producers that have facilities or are interested in expanding facilities within their own land to promote the region through local food stories. So we were able to identify a number of ways, and we also were able to identify who the market is that is coming based on the surveys we did during open farm days, which was no surprise, which is Calgary. But as we move further from the region, we were also able to identify with Drumheller and Medicine Hat that there is a strong tourism market there as well that's interested in coming in to seek experiences. So that was our agritourism development plan. And next is our next project, and it's called the Agritourism Cluster Development Initiative. And what this one is, it's going to be one part of our action plan through the business plan and product development phases to grow that agritourism sector. So we identified many of the challenges to be successful to be an agritourism operator. So this agritourism cluster development initiative is going to help us and the operators to build that capacity to propel that sector forward. So this project is now fully funded. We just received the last little bit of funding, and again, we're so pleased that we had the federal government to support this initiative, as well as Alberta Economic Development and Trade, and we also have the Community Futures Rural Opportunity Fund to support this initiative. So we will be beginning to market this program out here actually within the next 4 to 6 weeks. And the goal of this program here is to identify and develop shoulder season products, so into that spring, fall, and winter. And it will help those operators work on their business plan and gain the knowledge that they need whether it's through training or some one-on-one consultation with various stakeholder groups to help them overcome some challenges that they may have to grow and diversify that portion of their business. The other objective is to increase the visitation and to grow local, provincial, and federal economies through tourism. We see that the demand is there. We know that we have great opportunity being close to Calgary, but we also have a large international tourism market that is coming in, and Alberta is host to that. So we know we could develop those experiences to attract that visitor sector. And then of course it's further to connect the supply chain. So we're looking at rolling this more in our local food here and our story into restaurants throughout Alberta and beyond. So just to kind of recap some of the successes that we've had, and this is why I'm still very passionate about this program, and I think many of the operators are as well, is that we're still seeing an increasing interest in Open Farm Days participants and the visitors. So we are seeing an increase in those visitor numbers, and our participants range anywhere from 12 to about 17 participants every year, just depending on the year. So there's still that demand. So we are happy to continue supporting the Open Farm Days program within the region. And again, year over year, we're seeing an increase in farm direct sales. So again, we try to report in the data and record it year over year. Not all of our farms do report in, but even regardless, without those numbers, we are seeing an increase for those that do. We have identified tourism experiences, like I explained in the previous slide, desired by our visitors. And we identified a strong interest and desire for that rural on-farm experiences as well. We are also increasing our knowledge and awareness of the region and businesses. So throughout our study, we were able to identify just over 200 producers, processors, accommodations, restaurants, in order to make a tourism cluster successful, so in development within the region. And we identified the need for training and mentorship, which is something that we'll be working on in the third phase of our project through the cluster development. And I mentioned the strong asset list as well, and those critical success factors. And many of those success factors are the training and the capacity, but it's also working with their local government for development on their land to make sure that those bylaws are in place for them to allow them to grow. And then government support sector development, which I do believe we've done quite well with leveraging funds for our various projects. So they are in full support of what it is that we're trying to do here within the region. So this is just an asset list. It's pretty, it doesn't maybe look like there's over 200 assets in there, but they are there. It's just you need to expand the map. But as you can see, we do have a significant amount of assets to grow the sector. So this is something that we're really proud of now, and now we just need we now just need to begin to collaborate and work with these operators to develop a cluster and develop products and experiences that those visitors will want. So again, big opportunities here that we see based on that asset list. We do have that ability to provide year-round on-farm experiences. We do have that opportunity for diversification. So whether it's through tourism or value-adding food manufacturing or beverage manufacturing. So there is big opportunity there. And with our accommodations, we do have those abilities as well to create overnight stays and packages. And to again further connect the supply chain with local restaurants and retailers to begin and continually show the local food story. We have that ability to promote our lifestyle and our culture, and I think that was something that came out very evident in our survey that people really appreciated and resonated with here in the region. And we do see an opportunity to develop and become a culinary food region. And our demographic is really encouraging for development. So as some of our producers are aging in the region, they also do have young families that are staying on the farm or returning to the farm and looking to do something different or unique, or getting their kids more involved. So this is really encouraging for our region as well. So that concludes my presentation. I'm happy to connect with people or individuals offline if you have some other questions or you just want to talk to me about what we've done in the region. And I've got my contact information here, and Ree and Tanis also have that. And Ree and Tanis will also have my contact information should you want to connect to discuss further. So that is it, and I appreciate your time, and I hope you all enjoyed today's presentations. Thank you.